jaw, like it was built to break off the handle. How'd we get to this place? We're leaving everything behind for new and exciting feelings, but I won't leave you. Will everything we know be lost and changed for something new? Only time will tell, but I'll be holding you. 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 Let's slow down. I wanna live right now.
What's up guys, Digga here from ProNDC. Welcome to another ESO build video. So in today's video I finally have the Magicka Warden Trials and Dungeons DPS build updated for the Dragon Bonus DLC. So yeah, I've brought out a Mag Warden build already for the Maelstrom Arena. You can still use that. I'd personally play a little bit differently in this patch, or I even switched my setup for last patch to be a little bit more effective. And yeah, so here's the trial build. It's working actually pretty well. I've tested out different setups, and Mag Warden is actually not that bad, especially because you can use a spammable light attack rotation here. And I've tried out a few things. Like in the past, I tried to get a really good uptime on Deep Fissure, and it just drains your magic, and it's completely stupid to use that skill on a single target rotation. Like my results were so much worse. I don't really recommend to go with this skill. Use it in trash fights, especially if you have a lightning staff equipped. Try to use it and position yourself correctly to get a lot of AoE damage. This is like really strong for AoE, but for single target it's just like draining your Magicka too much. Anyway, let's get started with the stats. So these are my stats. As you can see, like low HP, Magicka not that high, decent spell damage. We use this Apprentice Wonderstone, of course. We have enough penetration in our group, and then we use the Clockwork Citrus Fillet. Yeah, so why would I play with such low amount of HP? Well, in my groups we go for scores, we go for full damage, so it's not that big of a deal to yeah, play with such low amount of HP. No biggie. So basically, if you want to have more HP, you can put some attribute points there. You can re-enchant your armor, but your magic will be really low. So the setup here is also really good for group buffing, because we use the Master Architect set for Major Slayer. And if you do not want to yeah, drop your Magicka as much, you can play with a different setup. I will get to that in a second when I talk about gear. Well, actually, I will talk about gear now. So basically, what we use is Master Architect, like I mentioned, gives you Magicka, Minor Slayer, spell damage, and then Major Slayer whenever you use an ultimate. And the Bear ultimate is just only 70. Really important that we have a low-cost ultimate for Master Architect. And it works really well. So your uptimes are between like 38 to 42, 43% on the Mag Warden, which is still very good. You can get it higher, of course, on Magicka Nightblade, like 50% plus. And this is like one of the sets that we use, like 2 body pieces and 3 jewelry pieces. Then we use the Mechanical Acuity set. So the Acuity set, you can see the set bonuses for yourself. The 5-piece set, the 5-piece bonus is really interesting because we get 5% for 5 seconds. Sorry, for 5 seconds we get 100% crit, and we do not use a monster set, as you can see, so all our attacks can critically hit in those 5 seconds. That's huge, for especially on trash fights for burst. Like, people underestimate the strength of this set in trials with all the crit buffs and stuff like that. So acuity is actually better. Some people said, like, well, I tested it and like Juliana's performed better. Like, yeah, maybe you just had crit luck, but acuity is indeed really, really good. Trust me, I've compared it so many times. I've compared it in trials and on different classes, and it just outperforms Juliana's. And it's craftable. That's really cool. So we use a heavy head, medium shoulders, and then 3 body pieces. You can see here, all divines, of course, all Magicka enchanted, all spell damage here. And if you do not want to go with Master Architect, what you can do, like I said, to get more max Magicka, or especially if you want to put some attribute points into health, is go with Necropotence. So Necropotence gives you Magicka, 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 and whenever you have a pet active, like the bear or your Netch Betty, you get more Magicka. So you sit, with this setup, you sit about like 47k max Magicka. If you put some attribute points into health, then it's like 45k maybe a little bit more. And yeah, so this is one option. The other option would be Burning Spellweave. Burning Spellweave, you can see it here. Burning Spellweave, 5 piece bonus gives you more spell damage when you deal, when you burn the enemy. So that's also pretty nice. So yeah, those are the options you have, like the 2 set options you have to replace a Master Architect. At least the ones that I tested. And to be honest, the results were pretty much the same. It was always like 39k. Keep in mind, no 39k solo, self-buff drain, and no other exterior buffs, no minor berserk, no horn and stuff like that. So in a trial environment, this will go up, especially with burning embers, etc., crusher from a tank. So I used the apprentice. I went with just base penetration, and yeah, that's pretty much it. As the weapons, we used the Silence Perfect Inferno Staff with a flame damage glyph infused, and then we used the Maelstrom Inferno Staff with a weapon damage glyph on the back bar. People will complain, yeah, I cannot get this staff, like I can't complete the hard mode. You do not have to. Just wait until it's weekly. Like, it's been weekly for some time. Like, even in the last patch, a couple of times this trial was the weekly, the Asylum Sanctorium. Just get your characters into the weekly leaderboards and just try to have some luck. Like, I have so many of these staves, just because I completed the hard mode several times. But I also needed to be lucky to actually get the weapon. So I think it's like people exaggerate a little bit when they say like I cannot get it, or it's like impossible for just normal people to get the weapon. It's actually not true. Because to get into the weekly leaderboards is not that hard. If you don't even run trials, there's no point in trying to like min-max like just for regular dungeons, because you will be able to complete the dungeons just even with the normal stuff. So if you do not have the perfected one, you can just go with the regular Sanctorium Inferno Staff, which it doesn't show here. I don't know why. So just go with the regular one. Still works on the Warden. It's not as good. What you could do instead, if you only want to activate the ultimate on the front bar, is go with a Master Architect Inferno Staff here on the front, or with the Mechanical Acuity Staff, or if you, instead of Mechanical Acuity, play with Julianos, go with the Julianos Staff. Those are your options. And then you have, of course, 1 slot free, and then you can just put like 1 piece of Malakana or 1 piece of Vulcan or Narineth for more HP if you would feel more comfortable with having more HP. But this is basically what I recommend. The staff is really, really strong. And yeah, you should try to get it. Anyway, that's it for gear. Let's talk about skills. So we have, of course, False Pulse, main spammable for the Sanctorium Staff. Then we have Fetcher Infection, single target dot, 10 seconds, real important. We have 3 dots. They all have different durations. Then Deep Fissure. Like I said, Deep Fissure is bad for single target. Like, it drains your Magicka, and you won't be able to keep up. Like resource management is like really, really awful, and I have more damage the way I play now compared to using like Deep Fissure. I've tried different things, like trying to cast it on cooldown, trying to cast it like 2 times in rotation, and it was always less DPS than actually not using it at all. So like what I recommend, depending of if you have one, like if your group says like, okay, you should run a lightning staff for lightning blockade, run the lightning staff on the back bar, and if they are cool with you having an inferno staff, just run it on the front bar. And I'd just recommend to switch it out for trash fights, because then you can just do heavy attacks with the lightning staff to do AoE damage, and then also your AoEs get stronger because of the passive of the destruction staff, which is ancient knowledge. Lightning staff increases your damage done with area of effect abilities by 8%. And then we have Trifocus fully charged. No, shock heavy attacks damage nearby enemies for 151% of the damage done. So you do a lot of AoE damage if you do lightning heavy attacks in trash fights. So that works really, really well. Just like use your two AoEs here, Deep Fissure, and then do a lightning heavy attack, and that should do some really good AoE damage. Then we have Blue Betty, gives us Magicka back, good for sustain. Try to recast it in a bar swap all the time, because the animation is really long. We don't want that. Try to just do it in a bar swap. It like saves you a tiny bit of time. And of course, time is damage, as you know. Then we have Inner Light. Yeah, it gives us more Magicka. It's basically it. And yeah, 5% from the skill, 2% from the major skill passes. Then we have Guardian's Wrath here. So we have the Bear Ultimate. So Bear Ultimate, we use that, of course, with Master Architect. On bosses. It's actually not supposed to be here. I'm sorry. So it's just for like showing some stuff. You needed to have it on both bars. So on trash fights, the Bear is pretty much shit. So instead, you want to go with Elemental Rage here on the back, and go with Northern Storm on the front. So we actually have more Magicka here, as you can see, 42k. Yay, that's quite some bit. So this is what you use in trash fights. If you are on console, just swap out the Bear on the back bar. Yeah, just swap out the Bear on the back bar and go with Fire Rage, because Destro ult is better for trash. Because like console players have to swap both ultimates, would have to swap both ultimates actually, and that can be a little bit annoying and like uses up too much time. And yeah, so just like swap one ultimate if you're on console, because people that are on PC can actually like change their setup all the time with certain add-ons. But yeah, so then we have for Harness Magicka or Shield, self-explanatory I guess. Then Rearming Trap for minor force, again in a light. Winter's Revenge as an AoE, lasts 12 seconds, and then Blockade of Fire 8 seconds for as an AoE. If you get guard from someone, you can take out Rearming Trap and maybe go with a healing skill from the green balance tree. And what you can also do, if you have the Alliance rank and need it, you can take out Deep Fissure and Rearming Trap and just go with guard. And yeah, you can guard someone else, so you both get the crit buff. That's pretty much it. So as for don't go on that rotation, like just let me kill that. Okay, it's dead. That's good. So as for the rotation, there's basically no rotation. So what I do, I just cast my Netch Betty, of course, at the start, and then I cast Deep Fissure once to have a little bit more burst in the beginning, because it goes off after 3 seconds. Then I put down my trap, my AoEs, and it's really important what I always do, that I activate my Berserker Glyph here and then cast my Bear Ultimate, so it deals more damage. That's why it basically looks like this. Yeah, Deep Fissure, Trap, and then recasting all my dots. And then I fucking spam Force Pulse 5 times, reapply Blockade. reapply the swarm. That's pretty much how it works. So, of course, I know this is a little bit too complicated for console players because you're not able to track your ground effects. So what you want to do on console basically, which is less effective because you do not activate your glyph on the back bar as much. Like I have like 65 to 70+% uptime on the glyph on the back bar. What you want to do on the console is just basically like recast all your dots. So that basically looks like this. And every second rotation you want to recast your trap. Yeah, I can use the bear now here. And it would work like this. It's less effective, of course, because lower uptime of your berserker glyph on the back bar. But yeah, you still get some decent results with that rotation, and yeah, you just have to figure out by yourself if that's if you want to play it that way or not. I mean, I'm pretty sure people on console can learn to play with recasting that stuff, but yeah, whatever. So for champion points, we have 31 to Warlord, 5 into Sprinter, 49 Arcanist, 76 into Tenacity, 31 Shadowboard, 48 Tumbling. This can like change depending on the trial that I run. Like I don't need that in Silent Santorium, of course, which I never go to because I cannot use the Bear Ultimate there. But yeah, just adjust it to the trial. I always keep like these two, or go like 56 into Arcanist even. And actually, it's kind of wrong. I do not use heavy attacks, I'm sorry. Should we actually be 76 here and then 49 here, or 56? So 61 Ironclad, 22 Spell Shield, 49 Hardy, 49 L Defender, 44 Thick Skinned, 15 into Quick Recovery. For the blue tree, we have 32 into Spell Erosion, 52 into Elfborn, 56 L Expert, 6 into Staff Expert, 66 Monster at Arms, and 28 into Thaumaturge. Our dots don't deal a lot of damage, so we do not buff that too much, but we could even go lower, but I wouldn't recommend to go lower because on trash you will feel the lack of damage if you don't have enough points into Thaumaturge. The 6 points to Staff Expert, if you need more pen, a little bit more, you can put them here in Spell Erosion. And of course, adjust your points in Spell Erosion to your group. Like, check what debuffs you have, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Guys, I think we're at the end of the video. I'm not sure if I covered everything. I should have, actually. If you have any more questions, like, hey, can I use monster sets here? Or can I use this setup instead? Or is there any other setup for beginners? Just, like, ask it in the comment section. I'll gladly answer it there. And, yeah, make sure to hit the like button if you liked the video. And if you do not want to miss any more ESO content, just hit the sub button. I'd really appreciate it. And I also hope you tune in next time too. So hope to see you then. Bye bye.